Finally home. What a long day.
Long day for me, too. The traffic in DC is terrible today.
It's always terrible. You must be new here if you're surprised by the traffic.
Is it that obvious? I moved here a few months ago. I'm Robert.
Nice to meet you, Robert. I'm Michelle. I've seen you around the building, I think. Do you live in the Triple Almond building, too?
Yes, I do. I'm on the top floor, the penthouse.
The penthouse? Wow. That's a nice view. I'm on the 4th floor. It's not quite the penthouse, but I like it.
After you.
Thanks.
So, Michelle, you look like you had a busy day. Are you a student?
Oh no, I finished school a couple of years ago. I'm a lawyer.
A lawyer? You seem very cheerful for a lawyer. I thought lawyers were always serious.
We can be serious, but I try to leave the serious stuff at the office. Today was just busy. Lots of paperwork.
I can imagine. What kind of law do you do?
A little bit of everything. I help people with contracts, moving arrangements, sometimes family issues. It's a general practice.
What was that noise?
I don't know. The elevator stopped moving.
Let me check the buttons. Nothing is happening. I think we're stuck.
Stuck? In the elevator? Oh no. I knew I should have taken the stairs.
Don't worry. This building is very safe. I'm sure it's just a small mechanical error. Look, I'll press the call button. Hello? Is anyone there?
Great. No answer. We might be here for a while.
Well, at least we have good company, right? And the lights are still on. It could be worse.
You're very calm, Robert. If I were alone, I think I would be panicking right now.
I learned to stay calm in my job. Panic usually costs money.
Oh? What do you do? You live in the penthouse, so it must be a good job.
I work in finance. Well, sort of. I was an early investor in digital currency.
Digital currency? You mean like magic internet money?
Something like that. It's called cryptocurrency. Have you heard of the blockchain?
I hear that word on the news all the time. Blockchain. But honestly, I have no idea what it actually is. It sounds like a type of heavy metal chain.
It's not that heavy. Imagine a shared notebook, a digital notebook that everyone can see, but no one can erase.
A notebook?
Exactly. In traditional banking, the bank keeps the notebook. They say, Michelle has $10. You have to trust the bank.
Right. I trust my bank. Mostly.
But with blockchain, everyone has a copy of the notebook on their computer. If I want to send you money, I write it in the notebook. Everyone's computer checks it to make sure I actually have the money.
So, there is no bank?
Correct. No middleman. It's direct. It's secure because you can't cheat the system. If you try to change one page in your notebook, everyone else's notebook will say, "Hey, that's wrong."
That actually makes sense. So, you made your money doing that?
Yes. I started when I lived in Chicago. I bought some digital coins when they were very cheap. Then, everyone wanted them, and the price went up.
That sounds incredible, but isn't it risky?
It is very risky. That's why I'm changing my strategy now. I want to move my money into safer things, traditional investments.
Like what?
Real estate, businesses. Actually, I'm thinking about buying the local tennis club.
The one down the street? My neighbor owns that.
Really? That's interesting. Small world. I think it's a good business. People always want to play tennis. It's a stable investment. Unlike digital coins, a tennis court doesn't disappear if the internet goes down.
That's true. And you get free tennis lessons, right?
That's the plan. I need to relax more.
Speaking of relaxing, you said panic costs money in your job. Is it stressful?
It used to be. The market never sleeps. It's open 24 hours a day. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. to check prices on my phone.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. I was 22 and I looked like I was 40. That's why I moved to DC. I want to enjoy the finer cultural things now. Museums, art.
Do you collect art?
Well, sort of. I collect comic books.
Comic books? Like superheroes?
They are modern mythology, and some of them are very rare. They are like fine art, just with more capes and explosions.
I'm not judging. I think that's cool. It's better than spending money on, I don't know, boring expensive cars.
I like cars too, but comic books tell a story. What about you? Does a busy lawyer have time for hobbies?
I make time. Actually, my hobby helps with my job. I love acting.
Acting? You mean like in a theater?
Yes, I'm in a local theater group. We do plays on weekends.
That's fantastic. How does acting help with law?
Well, being a lawyer is a performance. When I'm in a meeting or if I have to go to court, I have to be confident, even if I'm nervous inside.
Ah, fake it until you make it.
Exactly. I have to use my voice and my body language to convince people. It's just like being on stage.
So, are you a different person at work?
A little bit. At work, I'm Michelle Mills, attorney at law. I'm tough, I'm organized. But at home or on stage, I can be silly. I can be emotional.
I understand that. People think because I have money, I must be sophisticated. They expect me to wear suits and drink expensive wine.
But you prefer comic books and what do you drink?
Soda, or just water. I'm a simple guy from Chicago.
I've never been to Chicago. Is it nice?
It's great, but it's very cold in the winter. We call it the Windy City. The wind cuts right through your coat. DC is much warmer.
It's humid here, though. In the summer, the air feels like soup.
Soup. That's a good description.
Oh, did we move?
I think so. The motor is starting again.
Thank goodness. I was starting to get hungry. I didn't want to eat the mints in my purse for dinner.
We were only stuck for about 10 minutes, Michelle.
It felt like an hour. Time moves slowly when you're in a metal box.
That's true. So, tell me more about your job. You said you help with moving arrangements?
Yes, it's not the most exciting part of law, but it's important. When people buy a house or lease an apartment, there are so many contracts.
The fine print.
Yes, the text is so small you need a microscope. People sign things without reading them. My job is to read them and say, "Wait, this is a bad idea."
You protect them.
I try to. Sometimes people don't listen. They just want the keys to the house. But if something goes wrong later, they call me.
It sounds stressful in a different way than trading crypto. You deal with people's emotions.
Yes, people get very emotional about their homes. And their money.
I can imagine. You know, I might need a lawyer soon.
Oh? Did you rob a bank?
No, for the tennis club deal. If I decide to buy it, I will need someone to check the contracts.
Well, I can certainly help with that. I know the area and I know the owner.
The neighbor mom?
Yes, she's very energetic. Negotiating with her might be interesting.
Energetic is good. I like energetic people.
So why a tennis club? I mean, you have crypto, you have comic books. Why do you want to manage a sports club?
I think I miss the community. In crypto, everything is online. I talk to people on screens, I have avatars and usernames, but I don't see faces.
That can be lonely.
It is. A tennis club is a physical place. People go there to meet, to play, to talk. I want to build something real, something I can touch.
That's a lovely ambition. It's building a community.
Exactly. Plus, I need to get in shape. I sit in front of a computer too much.
Don't we all? I sit at a desk all day. Sometimes my back hurts like I'm an old lady.
We are too young to have back pain, Michelle. We are in our 20s.
Tell that to my spine. That's why I like acting. On stage, I have to move.
What kind of roles do you play?
Last month, I was a queen. A very angry queen.
Did you order people to lose their heads?
Off with his head!
Wow, I felt a chill. You are good.
Thank you. It's fun to be powerful. In real life, as a young lawyer, people sometimes don't take me seriously. They see a young woman and think I'm an assistant.
That must be frustrating.
It is. I have to work twice as hard to prove I'm smart.
I have the opposite problem.
Really?
Yes, because I made money quickly in crypto, people think I'm a genius. They ask me for advice on everything. Robert, what stock should I buy? Robert, will the world end next Tuesday?
And do you know?
Of course not. I was just lucky, and I did my homework. I'm not an oracle. I'm just a guy who likes math and comic books.
It sounds like we both have to deal with stereotypes.
Stereotypes?
You know, a fixed idea about a type of person. People think lawyers are boring and greedy. People think crypto guys are, well,
Reckless? Crazy?
maybe a little bit. But here we are. A lawyer who acts like a queen, and a millionaire who reads comic books.
We break the mold.
Break the mold. I like that phrase. What does it mean exactly?
It means we are unique. If you make a statue, you pour metal into a mold. If you break the mold, you can never make the same statue again.
That's a nice way to think about it.
Looks like we're moving again. What floor is this?
The display says, Floor 4. That's me.
Ah, safe and sound.
Thank you for keeping me calm, Robert. I'm glad we got stuck together.
Me too. It was the most interesting elevator ride I've had in DC.
Hey, if you are serious about that tennis club, here is my card.
Michelle Mills, attorney at law. Very professional.
Call me if you need help with the contracts, or if you want to know which neighbors are nice and which ones are grumpy.
That information is worth a lot of money. I will definitely call you.
Have a good night, Robert. Enjoy your comic books.
Good night, Michelle. Break a leg.
Excuse me?
Oh, sorry. It's an idiom. It means good luck for actors.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thanks.
This is impossible. There are too many choices.
Don't panic. We just got here. You have plenty of time.
I don't feel like I have time. The date is tonight. Tonight! I usually plan my restaurant menus weeks in advance. But for my own clothes, I have no plan.
That's why I'm here. You help me with coffee advice, and I help you with fashion. It's a fair trade. Now, take a deep breath.
Okay. You're right. I'm just nervous.
It's just a first date. Why are you so stressed? You talk to people all day at your restaurants.
That's different. That is business. I'm confident when I talk about food. I know every ingredient. I know how to manage the staff. But a date? I have to sell myself, not a menu item. And honestly, I haven't been on a first date in a long time.
I understand. It's normal to feel anxious, but looking good helps you feel good. If you like your outfit, you'll feel more confident. So, what is the plan? What is the vibe for tonight?
The vibe?
The atmosphere, the feeling. Where are you taking her? That decides what you should wear.
Ah, the venue! I chose a nice place in the city center. It's a modern bistro. Not too fancy, no white tablecloths. But it's not a fast food place either. They serve local ingredients. The lighting is dim and romantic.
Okay, that's good information. So, smart casual.
Smart casual? That is a confusing term. Is it smart or is it casual?
It's in the middle. You want to look like you made an effort, but you don't want to look like you are going to a business meeting. No suits, no ties, but no old t-shirts either.
Okay, smart casual. Let's look at this rack here. What do you think about this one?
That one?
Yes, it's black. Black is safe, right? It looks very professional.
It is very professional. Too professional. That is a dress shirt for a tuxedo. See the collar? It's very stiff. And the fabric is shiny. If you wear that, she might think you are the waiter.
Oh no, I definitely do not want that. I'm a restaurateur, but I want to be a guest tonight. Okay, no shiny black shirts.
Let's look at some colors. You have a warm personality. You should wear something that looks friendly. How about blue? Or maybe a nice olive green?
I like blue. Blue is a calm color. Maybe it will help me stay calm.
Here, look at this one. It's a light blue button-down shirt. The fabric is cotton, so it breathes. It won't be too hot.
Can I touch it?
Of course. Feel the texture.
Oh, that is nice. It's soft. It feels a little casual, but the collar is structured.
Exactly. It's an Oxford shirt. It's a classic style. It says, "I am relaxed, but I have good taste." Why don't you try it on?
Okay, I'll go to the fitting room. Please wait here. Don't leave me!
I'm not going anywhere. Go.
Okay, I have it on.
Come out. Let me see the fit.
Well, what do you think?
Turn around, please.
Like this?
Okay. The color is great. It really brings out your eyes. But look at the shoulders.
The shoulders? What's wrong with them?
The seam, the line here, is dropping down your arm. It's too wide. It makes the shirt look too big. It looks a little bit messy.
Ah, I see. It feels loose, too. There's too much fabric around my waist. I look like a box.
It's just the wrong cut. That is a regular fit. You are in good shape from walking around your restaurants all day. You need a slim fit or a tailored fit.
Tailored fit? Does that mean I need a tailor to fix it?
No. It's just the name of the style. It means the shirt is narrower at the waist. It follows the shape of your body better. Let me find the same shirt in a medium slim fit. Here we go. Try this one.
Thank you. You are very patient. If I were doing this alone, I would have bought the big boxy shirt and looked terrible.
That's what friends are for. Go try it on.
While I change, can I ask you a question?
Sure, I'm listening.
Do you think I should bring flowers? Or is that too much?
That's a good question. For a first date? A huge bouquet of red roses? No, that's too intense. It puts too much pressure on her.
Okay, no red roses. I don't want to be intense.
But a single flower? Or a very small, simple bunch of wildflowers? That can be sweet. It shows you were thinking about her. But honestly, you don't need them. The best gift is good conversation and being a good listener.
Good conversation. I can do that. I can talk about the food, right?
Careful. Don't critique the food too much. You are a professional. If you complain about the sauce or the cooking, you might sound negative. Just enjoy the meal.
You're right. I need to turn off my restaurateur brain. Okay, I'm coming out.
Wow.
Is it good?
It's perfect. Look in the mirror. See the difference?
Oh, yes. The shoulders sit right here at the edge, and the waist isn't loose. I feel taller.
It improves your posture. You look confident. The blue is definitely your color.
What about the sleeves? Are they too long?
Let me see. Put your arms down. They are just a little bit long. They cover half your hand.
Is that a problem?
Not really. Here's a trick. Since it's a smart casual date, you can roll the sleeves up.
Roll them up? Like I am going to wash dishes?
No, not that high. Just fold the cuff up twice, below the elbow. It looks relaxed. It says, "I'm here to have a good time." Here, let me show you. Fold once, and fold again. There. How does that feel?
It feels good. My arms feel free. And I can see my watch.
Exactly. It looks stylish. So, is this the winner?
Almost. I like it. But is it too plain? It's just solid blue. Maybe I should wear a pattern to show my personality.
We can try a pattern. Patterns are fun, but they are also risky.
Let's just look. I saw a shirt over there with little pineapples on it.
Pineapples?
Yes, I like fruit. I work with food. It's funny.
No pineapples. Save the funny shirts for the third date. Or maybe a beach party. For the first date, simple is better. You want her to look at your face, not your shirt.
You are right. No pineapples. But maybe stripes?
Stripes can work. Let's look at the rack next to the fitting room. Here is a striped one. Thin, vertical stripes, white and blue.
It looks nice. Very clean.
Vertical stripes, lines that go up and down, are good. They make you look slimmer. Horizontal stripes, lines that go across, can sometimes make you look wider.
This fabric feels different. It's a bit rougher?
It's linen, or a linen blend.
Linen. Is that good?
Linen is very cool. It's great for summer, but it wrinkles very easily.
Wrinkles? You mean lines in the fabric?
Yes, if you sit down in the car or sit at the dinner table, the shirt will get creased. By the end of the date, you might look a bit messy.
Oh, I don't want that. I will be nervous, so I might be moving around a lot. I need a shirt that stays smooth.
Then let's stick with the cotton Oxford, the blue one you have on. It resists wrinkles better than linen.
Okay, the blue cotton shirt is the winner. I feel good about it.
Now, what are you wearing on your bottom half?
These pants? They are my comfortable pants.
Those are cargo pants. They have pockets on the knees.
Yes, they are very practical. I can put my keys, my wallet, my phone, a snack.
You do not need a snack in your pocket for a dinner date. You are going to a restaurant.
That's a good point. So, no cargo pants?
No cargo pants. Do you have jeans?
I have jeans.
What kind? Are they light blue? Do they have holes in them?
They are dark blue. Dark indigo, I think. No holes, no rips.
Perfect. Dark denim looks dressy. It matches the smart casual code perfectly. The light blue shirt with dark blue jeans? That is a great combination.
Blue shirt, rolled sleeves, dark jeans. What about shoes? I have my running shoes.
Oh no. We were doing so well. No running shoes. Running shoes are for the gym.
But they are comfortable. We might go for a walk after dinner.
You can walk in other shoes. Do you have leather boots? Or maybe clean white sneakers? Not running shoes, but fashion sneakers?
I have a pair of brown leather boots. I usually wear them in the winter.
Brown leather boots will look fantastic with the blue shirt. Brown and blue are complementary colors. They look great together. Just make sure they are clean.
I'll polish them as soon as I get home.
Good. So, we have the full outfit. How are you feeling now?
Honestly, I feel much better. When I walked in here, I felt lost. I was looking at all these clothes and I just saw fabric. I didn't see a look.
It can be overwhelming.
But now, I can visualize it. I can see myself walking into the restaurant. I know I will look appropriate. It's one less thing to worry about. Now I can just worry about everything else.
Everything else? Like what?
What if we run out of things to say? What if I spill soup on my new shirt? What if my credit card doesn't work?
Stop. Stop spiraling.
Sorry. The anxiety is coming back.
Listen to me. You are a great guy. You are kind, you are successful, and you have great friends. And you are going to look very handsome in this shirt.
You really think so?
I know so. And about the conversation, just ask questions. People love to talk about themselves. Ask her about her hobbies. Ask her what food she likes.
I can do that. I love talking about food.
And if you spill soup on your shirt, just laugh.
Laugh?
Yes, accidents happen. If you get angry or embarrassed, it makes things awkward. If you laugh and say, "Oops, I guess I was hungry," it shows you have a sense of humor. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about handling mistakes calmly.
That is very wise advice. Are you sure you are just a barista? You sound like a therapist.
Bartenders and baristas are the poor man's therapists. We listen to people's problems all day.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do. I'm going to buy this shirt.
Great. The register is over there. Oh, wait.
What? What is it? Is there a hole in the shirt?
No, look. There is a belt rack.
A belt? I don't need a belt. My jeans fit fine.
A belt isn't just to hold your pants up. It's an accessory. It finishes the outfit. If you are tucking the shirt in, you need a belt.
I was going to leave the shirt untucked.
With the Oxford shirt? It's better tucked in for a date. It looks sharper. And if you tuck it in, you need a belt. What color were your boots?
Brown.
Then you need a brown belt. The rule is, your belt should match your shoes. Black shoes, black belt. Brown shoes, brown belt.
I didn't know that rule. I've been dressing myself for 25 years, and I didn't know that.
See? You are learning every day. Here's a simple brown leather belt. It matches the boots you described.
Okay, I'll take it. Shirt and belt. I'm ready.
So, what time is the date?
7 o'clock. I have 3 hours. I need to go home, shower, shave, polish my boots.
You have plenty of time. Don't rush. Rushing makes you sweat. You don't want to sweat in the new shirt.
Good point. I will move slowly and calmly, like a sloth.
Maybe a little faster than a sloth.
Okay, I have the bag. I have the armor.
The armor?
Yes, the clothes are my armor. They protect me from looking foolish.
You're going to be great. Just be yourself. The version of yourself that wears cool blue shirts.
Thank you again. I owe you a coffee. No, I owe you a lunch. Come by the restaurant next week. On the house.
I will definitely do that. I want to hear the full report about the date. I want to know everything.
If it goes badly, I might not want to talk about it.
It won't go badly. And if it does, we can just eat good food and complain about it.
That sounds like a good backup plan. Okay, I am going to the station. Wish me luck.
Good luck. You look great.
Thank you. See you later. Wow. What a day. I'm so happy that shift is finally over.
You can say that again, Steve. It was really busy today. I didn't sit down for 6 hours.
I know. My feet are killing me. Being a nurse is rewarding, but sometimes I just want to sleep for a week.
Only a week? I could sleep for a month. But we can't go home yet. Remember? We made a plan.
A plan? Did we? I'm so tired I can't remember my own name.
Come on, Steve. It's Friday. We agreed to go to the movies. You promised. You said you needed to relax.
Oh, right. The movies. Yes, I did say that. I need a distraction. I need to forget about work for a few hours.
Exactly. Since I'm new here in DC, I need you to show me the best movie theater in the city.
Well, there's a great one just a few blocks away. It has really comfortable seats. They recline all the way back.
That sounds perfect. Is it far?
No, it's a short walk. We can get some fresh air on the way.
Great. It's nice to be outside. The air in the hospital is always so sterile.
True. So, Margaret, how are you liking the exchange program so far? Is Washington, D.C. very different from New Jersey?
It is different. It's busier here. Princeton is quieter. But I like it here. The hospital is huge, and I'm learning a lot.
That's good to hear. We're happy to have you. But tell me, do you miss home?
A little bit. I miss my craft room. You know I love handcrafting, right? Making jewelry and knitting. I don't have much space for that in my temporary apartment here.
I didn't know you did knitting. That's a very relaxing hobby.
It is. It helps me focus. What about you? What do you do when you aren't working?
Me? I like the outdoors. I love climbing mountains.
Really? That sounds dangerous.
It's not too bad if you are careful. I usually go back to my hometown, Baltimore, or nearby areas to hike on weekends. But during the week, I just hang out at my apartment building.
Oh, what was it called? The triple peanut?
The Triple Almond. The Triple Almond apartment building. It's a funny name, I know, but it's a nice place.
Right, the triple almond. I'll try to remember that. Anyway, look. I think I see the cinema sign up ahead.
Yes, that's it. Okay, are you ready to see a movie?
I was born ready. Let's go.
Ah, smell that? Popcorn. The best smell in the world.
It does smell delicious. Okay, let's look at the posters. What is playing right now?
Let's see. There's a big screen here with the times.
Okay, looks like there are a few options starting in 20 minutes.
Oh, look at this one. The Wedding Mistake. It's a romantic comedy.
A romantic comedy? Really?
Yes! Look at the poster. The guy is tripping over the wedding cake. It looks hilarious. I love comedies. They are light and easy to watch.
I don't know, Steve. That looks a bit silly. I was thinking of something different.
Different? Like what?
Like this one. Look. The House on Shadow Hill.
That? That looks dark. Is that a horror movie?
Yes, it's the new horror movie everyone is talking about. It's supposed to be terrifying.
Terrifying? Why would you want to be terrified? We just finished a 12-hour shift at a hospital. I don't want to be stressed.
It's not stress. It's exciting. It's adrenaline. It wakes you up.
No. I deal with stressful situations all day. When a patient is crashing, my heart beats fast. I don't want my heart to beat fast when I'm relaxing.
But that's why it's fun. It's a safe kind of fear. You know it's not real. You can scream, grab your popcorn, and then laugh about it later.
I prefer to just laugh, without the screaming part. Come on, Margaret. The Wedding Mistake has that famous actor. You know, the one with the nice hair?
The one with the nice hair? That describes half of the actors in Hollywood.
You know who I mean. He's funny. The review says, a heartwarming story about finding love in unexpected places. Doesn't that sound nice?
It sounds predictable. I bet they hate each other at the beginning, and then they fall in love at the end, right?
Well, yes, probably. But that's what makes it comforting. You know everything will be okay.
But the House on Shadow Hill is a mystery. We don't know what will happen. Look at the tagline. Don't open the basement door.
See? That right there. I don't want to see what is in the basement. I want to see people eating cake and making jokes.
You are such a chicken, Steve.
I am not a chicken. I climb mountains. That is brave.
Climbing a mountain is physical. Watching a horror movie is mental. Maybe you are brave outside, but scared of ghosts?
I'm not scared of ghosts because ghosts aren't real. But watching people get chased by monsters isn't my idea of a relaxing Friday night.
Please, I really, really want to see it. The special effects are supposed to be amazing.
I don't know.
How about a compromise?
What kind of compromise?
We watch the horror movie, and I will buy your snacks.
You'll buy the snacks?
Yes, a large popcorn and a soda.
A large popcorn? With extra butter?
Yes, with extra butter.
You drive a hard bargain, Margaret. Okay, but if I get nightmares, I'm calling you in the middle of the night.
Deal. You won't regret it. It's going to be great.
Okay, look at the menu. The prices have gone up since last time I was here.
Yeah, cinema snacks are always expensive, but it's part of the experience.
True. Can I help you carry anything?
No, I've got it. Excuse me? Hi. Yes, I'd like one large popcorn, please.
Don't forget the butter.
And please add extra butter topping.
Perfect.
And 2 medium sodas. Steve, what do you want to drink?
I'll have a cola. No ice, please.
Okay, 1 cola with no ice and 1 lemon lime soda with ice. And do we need candy?
I don't need candy, but I want candy.
What kind? Chocolate or the sour gummies?
Chocolate. Definitely chocolate. Those round chocolate bites with the peanut butter inside.
Good choice. Okay, and a bag of the chocolate peanut butter bites. That's all, thank you.
You are very generous. Next time, when we see a comedy, I will pay.
Deal. But admit it, you're a little bit excited about the scary movie now, aren't you?
Maybe. A little bit. I do like the adrenaline of climbing. Maybe this is similar.
Exactly. It's like a roller coaster. You go up slowly and then whoosh, you scream and it's over.
As long as nobody chases me with a chainsaw, I'll be fine.
I can't promise that. Here are the snacks. Careful, the popcorn is very full.
I've got the drinks. Let's head to the theater. What number is it?
Look at the ticket. I think it's theater number 4.
Theater 4. That's down the hall to the left. You know, it's funny. In Baltimore, where I grew up, we had this old tiny cinema. It only had 1 screen.
Really? Just 1?
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. Everyone watched whatever was playing. Sometimes it was a cowboy movie, sometimes a space movie.
That sounds nice, actually. It sounds simple.
It was. We didn't argue about genres because there was nothing to argue about.
In New Jersey, we went to the big mall. There were 20 screens. It took an hour just to decide what to watch.
That's the problem with too many choices. Sometimes it's harder to decide.
That's why I'm glad I'm here with you. If I was alone, I might just go home and knit.
Knitting is safer than the house on Shadow Hill.
You know, crafting is very detailed. You have to be patient. Maybe that's why I like horror movies. Crafting is quiet and slow. Horror movies are loud and fast. It's a balance.
That makes sense. I have a stressful job, and my hobby, climbing, is also intense physically. So maybe that is why I want a quiet, funny movie. I need a break from intensity.
I understand that. I'm sorry if I pushed you too hard.
No, it's okay. I need to try new things. If I stay in my comfort zone forever, I'll be boring.
You? Boring? Never. You live in a building called the Triple Almond. That is automatically interesting.
You will never let me forget that name, will you?
Never. It's the best name for a building I've ever heard.
Here we are, Theater 4.
It looks dark inside. The previews are starting.
Let's find seats in the middle, not too close to the screen.
Okay. There are 2 empty seats in row G. Let's go.
These seats are amazing. They are so soft.
Told you. Okay, shh. The movie is starting.
Hold the popcorn. I'm going to need it for protection.
my goodness, that was incredible.
I think I need to sit down.
Are you okay, Steve? You look a little pale.
Pale? I feel like I ran a marathon. That was so intense.
But wasn't it good? The part in the basement? When the light flickered?
Don't remind me. I jumped so high I almost spilled my soda.
I saw. You grabbed my arm.
I was checking your blood pressure. I'm a nurse, remember?
You were scared, admit it.
Okay. I was a little scared. Just a little. But
But what?
it was actually fun. You were right.
I knew it! I told you!
It was intense. I forgot about the hospital. I forgot about my tired feet. I was just focused on running away from the ghost in the screen.
See? It relieves stress. It clears your mind.
It definitely woke me up. I'm wide awake now. I don't think I can sleep tonight.
Oh, don't worry. You'll be fine. Just check under your bed before you sleep.
Stop it! That's not funny.
Okay, sorry. But seriously, the story was actually quite sad in the end.
It was. The ghost just wanted to find her family. It wasn't just about scares. It had a good plot.
I'm glad you liked it. Next time we can see The Wedding Mistake.
Really? You'll watch the romantic comedy with me?
Yes, I owe you one. It's only fair.
Great. Then it's a date. Well, not a date, but a friend date.
A colleague outing.
Exactly. A colleague outing to see bad romance movies.
Hey, look at the time. It's getting late.
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. Do you need to catch a bus?
No, I can take the metro. The station is right there.
I'll walk you to the station. It's on my way home to the Triple Almond.
Thank you, Steve. That's very kind.
The air is cooler now. It feels nice.
It does. DC is beautiful at night. The monuments look lovely with the lights.
Have you had a chance to visit the museums yet?
Not yet. I've been so busy at the hospital.
You have to go. The Air and Space Museum is fantastic. And the Natural History Museum.
I want to see the art gallery.
The art gallery is great too. Maybe next weekend, if we aren't working.
I'm on shift next Saturday, but I'm free Sunday.
Sunday works. We can do a museum in the morning and get lunch.
That sounds like a plan. You know, I'm really glad I came on this exchange program. Everyone is so friendly.
We try to be, but you are easy to get along with, Margaret. Even if you like terrifying movies.
And you are a good friend, Steve. Even if you are afraid of the dark.
Hey, I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what is in the dark. There is a difference.
Whatever you say.
So, how are you getting back to your apartment from the station? Is it a long walk?
No, it's just 2 blocks. It's a safe neighborhood.
Okay, good. Text me when you get home, okay? Just so I know you're safe.
I will. You too. Don't let the ghosts get you on the way to the Triple Almond.
I'll run fast.
Here is my entrance.
All right. Thanks for the popcorn.
Thanks for the company, and for being brave.
Anytime. Good night, Margaret.
Good night, Steve. See you on Monday at the hospital.
See you Monday.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about how to use the word once. Let's get started. For this lesson, I have 3 categories of meaning for the word once. We'll break these down. And then I have 1 list of expressions that feature the word once. So we'll take a look at the specific meanings of this word, and then we'll look at some special meanings at the end of the lesson. So let's start with the first meaning. The first meaning of once is one time. One time. So let's take a look at these example sentences and break down how the word once is used here. First example, I've been to Europe once. I've been to Europe once. In this example sentence, once comes at the end of the sentence and means exactly one time. So we could replace the word once with one time, and the sentence would still be correct and it would have the same meaning. I've been to Europe one time. So this is probably the most common use of once. Let's take a look at the next example sentence. She said she rode a horse once when she was a little kid. She said she rode a horse once when she was a little kid. So again, with this use of once, we can replace once with one time, and the sentence keeps the meaning. She said she rode a horse one time when she was a little kid. So again, this use of once means one time only. Okay? Let's continue to the next example sentence now. Can you keep a secret just this once? Can you keep a secret just this once? So I wanted to include this example sentence for this part right here. Just this once. It's like saying just this one time or this one time only. So sometimes when people want to make a special request, they'll use the expression just this once or please do this just once. It sounds like just one time. Please do this thing just one time. So this is one example. Can you keep a secret just this once? It's like saying I only want to ask this of you one time. So again, we can simply replace this word, once, with one time, and we keep the meaning. But once is a little bit more efficient. Okay, let's continue on to the last two examples. The last two examples use negatives, which I think are very important to talk about with this word too. Let's take a look. First, my date didn't ask me a question once. My date didn't ask me a question once. So in this situation, the speaker is talking about their date. So the person they went on a date with. We call the other person our date. So in this situation, we have a negative. The person didn't ask me a question once. So the same one time meaning applies here. That means, this sentence means, my date didn't ask me a question even one time. So this use of once that we often see with this negative form tends to take the feeling of even one time. Like we're kind of surprised or shocked in some way. You have some expectation, right? If you go on a date with someone, you expect probably they're going to ask you some questions, right? So this person is expressing some shock and surprise. Not even one time is what this sentence expresses. Let's look at another example of this kind of once. We worked so hard to cook a nice dinner, but our guests didn't comment on the food even once. So again, we worked so hard to cook a nice dinner, but our guests didn't comment on the food even once. So again, this once is like saying one time, and again, we have this even feeling here. In this case, I included the word even. So again, we're emphasizing we expected some comment about the food. We worked really hard to cook it, so you think maybe the other person will have some comment about it. This is so delicious. Where did you find the recipe? What's in this? And so on. There are many comments we can make, so we probably expect some kind of comment when we make something for someone else. But the speaker is expressing surprise or shock. They didn't comment even one time, is what this expresses. So you can use these negative patterns to express that kind of shock. And we sometimes do this, and it really helps us see, like, wow, this person didn't meet expectations at all. So all of these sentences express the meaning of one time, literally just one time, one instance of something. Okay, with this in mind, let's continue to the second group, the second category for meaning for this lesson. This category is formerly, or at a past point in time. So a key here, something that you can use as kind of a hint, is that often this use of once refers to something that happened in the past, in the far past. Not like yesterday or last week, but when you're talking about history, for example, you might see this use of once. So let's break down these example sentences. This city was once very popular for its exciting nightlife. This city was once very popular for its exciting nightlife. So this once, you'll notice it appears in the middle of the sentence. It comes after this was, right? So we're talking about a past condition or a past status of the city. This city was once. So this position here shows us in context as well that it's not so much about one time, as in one instance of something, but rather one time in terms of a past point in time. So we're not talking about like one case of something, we're talking about one past point in time. So in this situation, we can replace once with formerly. This city was formerly very popular. Or we could say, this city was, at a past point in time, very popular for its exciting nightlife. The nuance here then is that this fact has changed. So in the past, at a point in time, it was very popular for its exciting nightlife. However, now it's not popular for its nightlife. So we use this once often to emphasize some kind of change from a condition in the past. Let's look at one more example. Her company was once a fun, relaxed place to work. Her company was once a fun, relaxed place to work. So again, we have this once here. This refers to a past point in time or a former condition. So this sentence is saying, in the past, at a past point in time, her company was a fun and relaxed place to work. So the nuance here is now it's not a fun, relaxed place to work. Maybe it's very stressful and it's very difficult. So this use of once refers to some kind of past point in time. You can kind of see the context is very different here. We're talking about very different topics over here. We're talking about a city, a company, some kind of condition. Whereas when we talked about one-time experiences, we're talking about travel, conversations, personal experiences, and so on. These aren't so much about conditions. Here, we're talking about conditions a bit more. So that's another context hint you can use to help you understand which once is the meaning here. Okay, let's continue to the last use, the last category of meaning. It's as soon as, as soon as. So let's break down these examples. First, call me once you finish work. Call me once you finish work. A very, very common request. So in this case, we can substitute as soon as for once here. Call me as soon as you finish work is also 100% correct, but once is a little more efficient. So this once, you'll notice, comes after a verb expression, yeah? It's like a command. Call me once you finish work. This is saying, call me the moment you finish work, or in other words, as soon as you finish work. It's like asking for a very quick thing to happen once or as soon as something else is complete. So when this is done, please do this. We can use once to do this very efficiently to communicate this. Okay, let's look at the next example of this meaning. He can make the rent payment once he gets paid. He can make the rent payment once he gets paid. So in this case, the topic is paying rent. So to make a rent payment means to give the person who owns your house or who owns your apartment money for the month. That's the rent payment. He can make the rent payment once he gets paid. Once he gets paid. So again, we have this as soon as meaning here. So he can make the rent payment. This will happen after he gets paid. So when this happens, the rent payment will be made. We use once to express this sequence. As soon as A, B. We use once to do this. Okay, so these are the three most common uses of once generally. There are a couple of other uses that are a bit less common and they're kind of specific to certain situations, but in most cases, these three will be great for everyday communication. So keep in mind some of the context clues that I talked about here. Personal experiences and conversations for one time, conditions and statuses for past points in time, and verbs, actions for as soon as. Okay, great. So now let's move along to some expressions that feature once. These are some very common expressions that use the word once, and the meanings are sometimes very different from those we discussed earlier in the lesson. So let's break them down. First, we have at once, at once. This means immediately or right away. It can also, in some more formal situations, it might sound a little old-fashioned, it can also be used to mean both. So let's take a look at some example sentences. First, call an ambulance at once. Call an ambulance at once. So an ambulance is an emergency medical car. So there's an emergency, call an ambulance at once. Means call an ambulance right now, immediately. It's important. So we can use at once to express this. One more, he came home at once. He came home immediately. He came home right away. So at once expresses this feeling of doing something immediately at the moment. Lastly, I want to give one example of this both use. So this example, as I said, sounds a little bit old-fashioned and we don't use it so much. Maybe we'll see it in writing, some writing pieces somewhere, but we don't use it as much in everyday communication. Let's take a look though. The song was at once sad and beautiful. The song was at once sad and beautiful. So this means both. The song was both sad and beautiful. So this at once, if you look at it and you think, does this mean immediately? Does this mean right away? It doesn't seem to make sense in this situation. Like immediately? The song was immediately sad and beautiful? It sounds strange, right? So this at once is kind of like saying at the same time or simultaneously. The song was simultaneously sad and beautiful. So again, as I said, this isn't so commonly used today, but you might see it from time to time. Okay, let's move on to the next expression. The next expression is once and for all, once and for all. We use this typically after we've been working on a challenge for a while, or we've been trying to solve a problem, we've been working hard as a sports team or as a company, something like that, and we get to the last step. We want to make a statement about the last step or the final step. We use once and for all sometimes to do this. So this expression is like saying definitely or finally or for the last time. So let's look at our examples. First, let's win the game and show everyone we're the best team once and for all. Let's win the game and show everyone we're the best team once and for all. So this is something a sports team might say at the championship game, the last game of the year. So let's show them we're the best team once and for all. It sounds like we want to show other people that we are the best. We are here at the last stage. We're going to do this for the last time. Let's make it big. That's kind of the feeling of once and for all. Let's look at one more example. Her great plan solved the company's sales problems once and for all. Her great plan solved the company's sales problems once and for all. So in this example sentence, we know the problem. The company has some kind of sales problem, and this person created a great plan. So her great plan solved this problem finally, at the end, after lots and lots of struggles, once and for all. So it's kind of like saying, you can think of this once part as kind of like being with one action or one instance or one case, the problem was solved or they were able to overcome the challenge forever. That's kind of one way to understand this. With one movement or with one action, they were able to make a change forever. That's kind of the feeling of once and for all. Okay, let's move on to our next expression. The next one, you may already know, it's every once in a while. Every once in a while. Please note, native speakers sometimes write every once and a while. Incorrect. Every once in a while. In a while. So this expression means sometimes or occasionally. We like to use it in very casual conversations, and we usually say it very quickly, every once in a while. So let's break it down. I like to go to the movies every once in a while. I like to go to the movies every once in a while. We can replace every once in a while with sometime, and it creates exactly the same meaning. Again, every once in a while just sounds a little bit more casual. Yeah, I like to go to the movies every once in a while. That's how a native speaker would probably use this expression. One more. We eat at expensive restaurants every once in a while. We eat at expensive restaurants every once in a while. So again, we're expressing this feeling of occasionally, every once in a while. Again, this is a set expression, which just means sometimes. So, okay, let's continue to the last one. The last one is actually two, but they have the same meaning. So they are once again and once more. Once again and once more. These both mean one more time. one more time. So I wanted to include these because I know lots of learners like to request from their teacher, can you say that once more? Or can you say that one more time? Just be careful not to mix them. Sometimes I hear learners say like, once more time, something like that, or just one more. No, neither of those are really correct. Make sure to say, can you say that once more? Or can you say that one more time? So once again and once more both mean to do something one more time. So our examples. First, once again, thank you for coming today. Once again, thank you for coming today. So we sometimes do this when we're giving presentations to mean, I already said this, but I'm going to say it one more time. This is usually done, like I said, in presentation and speaking situations. And in this case, typically, the expression comes at the beginning of the sentence. Also, sometimes people will use this expression when they feel frustrated. Like if someone asks a question repeatedly, they get the same question many, many times, or if there's a rude behavior or something like that, that person in charge, they might use once again to express their frustration, to say, once again, please no talking during the presentation, something like that. So that kind of tone with this expression means I have to say this again, I'm saying it again. So please pay attention to the speaker's tone. Sometimes it's very happy, right? Once again, thank you for coming. That sounds good. But sometimes we use this expression to show that we are tired of saying the same thing again. Like, once again, please be quiet, something like that. So please keep an eye out, I guess, keep an ear out for the speaker's tone. Okay, last example is, let's practice this part once more. Let's practice this part once more. So again, let's practice this part one more time. We can use the two interchangeably. Or we could say, let's practice this part once again. So these all mean one more time. It's up to you to choose whichever you prefer. Just as I said, make sure not to mix them, not once more time or just one more. Make sure to say once more or one more time. Okay, great. So I hope that this lesson helped you to understand the different ways that we use the word once. In lots of situations, we use it to mean just one time. Sometimes we use it to talk about past points in time, past conditions. Sometimes it means as soon as, and of course we have many expressions that also use once. And there are other expressions I didn't cover in this lesson, but I can hopefully cover them at a future point in time. Awesome, so I hope this video helped you to be able to use the word once with a little more confidence. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some sentences with the word once, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also, check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, we're going to look at how to use apostrophes. Let's get started. Okay, in this lesson, I want to talk about two basic uses of the apostrophe. The things I'm going to talk about in this lesson will cover most basic uses of the apostrophe. There are two categories of use. We're going to look at showing possession, and we're going to look at contractions to show the missing letters in words. Let's start by showing possession with apostrophes. So, to show possession with an apostrophe, you can use apostrophe S after a noun. So this expresses that something belongs to the noun. So let's look at some very basic examples of this. First, my teacher's pen. In this example, we have my teacher as the noun that we have to show possession for. We have the apostrophe here, and then it's followed by S. Next is pen. This shows that the pen is owned by my teacher. We can use apostrophe S to demonstrate this. Let's look at the next example. His sister's car. His sister's car. In this sentence, sister is the person owning something, or rather, his sister. So again, apostrophe S shows the ownership in this situation. The car is owned by his sister. Let's look at the last basic example. It's my father's wallet. My father's wallet. Again, we have apostrophe S after the owner of the object. So here, my father is the owner of the wallet. So we can use apostrophe S to show ownership in this way. But there are some very important rules to keep in mind to make sure that you always express this ownership clearly and correctly. So let's take a look at 2 key rules for you to follow. Okay, first, number 1, if it's a singular noun, so this means if you want to show the possession of something that is a singular noun, that means just one thing or just one person, add apostrophe S to make it plural. Okay? This is true even if the singular noun ends in S. So this part right here is sometimes confusing even for native speakers. You learn sometimes I shouldn't put another S after the noun. When should I do that? I don't know. So this is the rule. So if it's a singular noun, add apostrophe S to make it plural. So let's look at some examples of this. First, the business's plan. The business's plan. In this situation, business is our noun. We want to express something that is owned by the business. So business ends with an S, but it's a singular noun, one business, right? We still have to add apostrophe S to make it plural. I'm sorry, we still have to add apostrophe S to show ownership. This is a singular noun. We're not making it plural here. The business's plan. So this shows the plan owned by the business. Okay, let's look at another example of this. His bus's schedule. His bus's schedule. So again, bus is a singular noun that ends with S. We still have to follow this rule. We add apostrophe S after the bus to show ownership. So this schedule belongs to the bus, or his bus in this case. So it's some kind of connection we're showing here. Here's one more example of this S rule. Her dress's color. Her dress's color. So again, dress is our singular noun. It ends in S. We still have to put apostrophe S to show ownership. So in this case, the dress doesn't actually own the color, of course, but the color is a quality that belongs to the dress. So even if your singular noun ends in S, you need to put an apostrophe S after it to show possession, to show ownership. We saw the same thing up here. So these singular nouns do not end in S, but we have to follow the same rule. So this one is an easy one, right? If you're just talking about one of something, one noun, just put apostrophe S after it to show ownership. Okay, great. So let's continue on to rule number 2. Rule number 2 is a little bit trickier than rule number 1. So let's take a look. Okay, for rule number 2, if it's a plural noun, so plural means more than one of something, if it's a plural noun, use an apostrophe after the S, that means no additional S after it, unless the plural noun does not end in S. So this is kind of tricky. Let's break down what this means. So plural nouns, generally, when we create a plural noun, we simply add S to the end of the noun to make it plural, right? Like teacher becomes teachers, right? Or sister becomes sisters, or father becomes fathers, right? More than one of something. We add an S to the end of it. So if it's a plural noun that follows this rule, just add an apostrophe after the S. You don't need to add apostrophe plus S, just one apostrophe. And it's done, it's finished, it's good. Unless, however, there is an exception, unless the plural noun doesn't end in S. So there are some plural nouns that don't end in S, right? They're special nouns, right? So we'll see an example of this here. So let's take a look at these kinds of examples that we have and break down what's happening. So first one, my parents' house. My parents' house. So in this example, my parents is the noun. This is the plural noun, 2 people, parents, right? And we have an apostrophe after the S. In this situation, there's no extra S after this because it follows this rule. So the plural noun, parents in this case, just gets an apostrophe here like this, okay? So my parents' house. This shows the house that belongs to my parents. Okay, let's look at the next example. The next example are children's grades. Our children's grades. So this is an example of the exception here. So children is an example of a plural noun that does not end in S, right? We have 1 child, 2 children, right? So this is a plural noun that does not end in S. In this situation, we need to use apostrophe S, just as we did with rule number 1, right? So in this situation, when you have a plural noun that doesn't end in S, make sure to add that apostrophe S. So if you want to talk about other things like mice, for example, so the mice is something, we need to add that apostrophe S. So this is a good one to keep in mind when you're writing a sentence that uses those plural nouns that are kind of irregular. Okay? Let's go to the last example, the students' party. The students' party. So here again, we have a regular plural noun. It's just student plus S, right? Students. We again put the apostrophe after students. No additional S because it follows the basic rule part here. So no exception in this case. So keep this one in mind. This one requires a little bit more thought. Just consider that S at the end. Plural noun or singular noun. Those are kind of the two things it's important to keep in mind with this. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about for showing possession, using apostrophes to show possession. Let's go now to part 2. So the other part of today's lesson is using apostrophes to show contraction. So a contraction is the short form or the reduced form of two words generally. So we use apostrophes to show or to kind of represent missing letters. That's one way that you can think of the apostrophe use here. So apostrophes can be used to show the missing letters in words. So what does this mean? Let's take a look at some examples. For example, when we write do not in the reduced form or the contracted form, we use this spelling, right? Don't, D-O-N apostrophe T. So you can think of this apostrophe as kind of a replacement for the letter that's missing, right? So we have do not. O is missing here. It's kind of like we're showing the O is gone with the apostrophe. So don't. Here's another example. We are. We are becomes we're, right? So again, we have a letter missing. In this case, it's the A. We are becomes we're. So the apostrophe shows where that letter used to be. One more example, I am, this becomes I'm. Again, we have a missing letter. The A used to be right here. We have an apostrophe there instead. So apostrophes can be used in this way to show that letters are missing from a word. So these are extremely common. You probably know about these already. But I also want to talk about another use that's typically done in books and other stories, those kinds of things. Sometimes this apostrophe, this missing letter apostrophe, is used at the end of a word, or sometimes even in the middle. It's a little bit rare. Usually this is at the end of a word. But sometimes you'll see an apostrophe at the end of a word to express a way of speaking. So this kind of tends to sound a little more casual, or sometimes this is used to indicate like a character's certain way of speaking. So let's look at some examples so you can see what I mean here. Here's one. I'm thinking about what to make for dinner. I'm thinking about what to make for dinner. So first we have this contracted form, right? The apostrophe here. And then we have this, thinkin', thinkin'. Here, the apostrophe is at the end of the word. So we tend to see this use a lot in ing verbs, actually, verbs that end in ing, to show that the G sound is not clearly pronounced. So I'm thinking about what to make for dinner. So this thinkin' is a little bit different from thinking, right? I'm thinking about what to make for dinner would be the standard way to say this, right? But this thinkin' sounds a little bit more casual. People may choose to use this kind of thinking to express a certain kind of casual level of speaking or to express a kind of accent, something like that. So that's what this apostrophe at the end of an ing verb means. It means that G sound is missing. Let's look at another example. We've been walking for hours. We've been walking for hours. So here again, we have this basic contraction. We've been walking for hours. So again, there's this apostrophe at the end of this ing word, right? And the G is missing. So the apostrophe is showing us something is missing and we've cut the word off early. So walking becomes walkin'. Walking. We've been walking for hours. So this expresses a kind of rough or casual manner of speaking. One more. You're working hard. You're working hard. You might hear people say this to you at work, like your coworkers might make this comment to you. You're working hard. Again, we have a basic contraction here. You are, right? And here, working. So the standard spelling is working with a G at the end. We have this apostrophe here that shows something is missing. You're working hard. So this sounds kind of more casual, a little more friendly than you're working hard. Okay, so that's what you might see occasionally. Usually we see this in texts like stories and maybe novels, maybe short stories or essays, that kind of thing. But oftentimes people like to speak this way, and sometimes they want to text that way as well too. So if you see this in like a text message or something, that's what this apostrophe at the end of the word means. And as I said, you might see it in the middle, I suppose, in certain places. You might even see it at the very beginning of a word, but that's an indicator, that's a sign that someone has cut off, usually like a letter or something like that, a very small sound, and they're showing that with the apostrophe. Okay, great. So those are the two key points that I want to talk about for this lesson. We use apostrophes to show possession, and we use apostrophes for contractions to show missing letters. I want to finish this lesson by covering a very common couple of questions, some very common errors, some problem points for learners and for native speakers. This question box right here shows them. There are the differences between its with an apostrophe, its with no apostrophe, and whose with an apostrophe S and whose, H-O-S-E at the end here. What is the difference? So let's talk about its and its first. IT apostrophe S means it is. It is. IT no apostrophe S is the possessive. So this is an exception to what I talked about over here. Of course, that's like kind of hard for you to remember, I know, but thankfully it's just this one. There's only one that you need to remember this exception for. So it's with no apostrophe is the possessive form, okay? It is this it with an apostrophe S at the end. So this is one tricky one to remember, okay? Then the second one, this whose question. So W-H-O apostrophe S means who is. Who is. W-H-O-S-E is the possessive. So whose bag is this? Right? We're asking about someone's possession. Whose bag is this? Whose marker is this? We use this W-H-O-S-E word to do that. Whose with an apostrophe S means who is, like who's he talking to, right? That's not a question of possession. So these words sound exactly the same when we are speaking, right? But it's important to remember that they are very different on paper. So keep these small differences in mind because they do matter. Okay, great. So this is a quick introduction to how to use apostrophes. This is a very basic introduction to this very important punctuation mark, but these rules will help you in the majority of situations. So keep this in mind. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some apostrophe words, feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also, check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I will see you again next time. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, we're going to look at 10 different ways to use the preposition by. I'm going to cover some of the most important and most common uses of this preposition, but of course there are some other uses such as phrasal verbs and idioms and so on. Today we're going to look at 10 very important and very great to know uses of this preposition. Let's get started. Okay. First, let's look at this one, number 1 here. This is the use of by to mean near or close, referring to its position from you. So, for example, he lives by the park. He lives by the park. In this sentence, we could replace by with near or close, and the sentence would remain the same. The meaning would remain the same. He lives near the park, or he lives close to the park. Same thing with our next example. My bag is by the door. My bag is by the door. So my bag is near the door, or my bag is close to the door. Last example, she put her coffee by the computer. She put her coffee by the computer. Again, this means near. She put her coffee near the computer. So all of these refer to by as meaning close to something else. Okay, let's move on to the second use. The second use is to describe the method of travel. So we use this by along with a way of getting somewhere, like a bus, an airplane, being on foot, and so on. Here are our examples. We went by bus. We went by bus. So by comes before the method of transportation. In this case, bus is our method. We went by bus. Second example, I've never traveled by train before. I've never traveled by train before. Again, by comes before the transportation type here. Okay, last example, she's coming by car. She's coming by car. So again, we have car here, our method of transportation, and in front of that is by. She's coming by car. Please note the only time that we don't use this is when we're talking about traveling on our feet. When we talk about traveling on foot, we use the expression on foot. So it's about 10 minutes on foot. We don't say by foot or by walking, really. We say on foot. So this is a special exception to this one. If you're talking about buses, trains, cars, bicycles, and so on, you can use this by method. Okay, let's go on to number 3. Number 3 is also about a method, but it's a little more open. We use by to describe methods of doing things. So there are 2 kind of breakdowns that I want to talk about here. The first one is using by before an ing word. So this is a way of expressing the process of something. Let's look at some examples. First, turn on the car by pressing this button. Turn on the car by pressing this button. So in this situation, we have by before this ing word, by pressing. So this sentence is saying you can turn on the car if you do this action. So this part here is telling us the method of turning on the car. Turn on this car by pressing this button. Let's look at another example. Download the file by clicking this link. Download the file by clicking this link. So again, we have by, and next is an ing word, by clicking. So clicking is this motion on the computer or tapping on a smartphone. So download the file by clicking this link. This is another way to say you can download this file if you click this link. So we're talking about the method of doing an action. One more example of this. Make an appointment by calling our office. Make an appointment by calling our office. So again, we have by followed by an ing word. Make an appointment by calling our office. So we're talking about the manner or the method by which we can do this thing. Okay, so this is the first one that I wanted to talk about. The first way that we use this by to describe the method of doing something. We always do this with an ing word after by. There is a second type that I want to talk about, and we typically use this to talk about communication, methods of communication, and methods of making payments. So in this case, we follow by with a noun that's related to communication or a noun that's related to payments. So let's look at these examples. I have 2 examples I want to talk about here and a couple of notes for you. So first example, I'd like to pay by credit card. I'd like to pay by credit card. So in this situation, it's a payment situation, right? I'd like to pay by credit card. Here we have by, followed by the noun phrase credit card, okay? So this is a very common way to express, I want to use my credit card. It's just a different way of saying, I want to use my credit card. So here we have, I'd like to pay by credit card. Okay, that's one type of payment. Maybe you have a debit card, for example. I'd like to pay by debit card. You might also hear people say, I'd like to pay by check. It's possible you might hear that depending on the region. But we also, in this kind of case, we tend to use the word with a lot, though. So for example, I'd like to pay with a credit card, or I'd like to pay with a check. We also use this when we're talking about cash. We do not use by when we want to pay with cash. We don't say, I'd like to pay by cash. Totally incorrect. We often say, I'd like to pay with cash, or I'd like to pay in cash. You might also hear no preposition. I'd like to pay cash for this, please. So these are all common ways of expressing payment, but we typically use by before a card type. I'd like to pay by card type, or maybe by bank transfer or wire transfer as well. Okay, let's look at the next one. The next one is a communication example. So when I say communication, I mean, for example, phone or fax or email or maybe online meeting and so on. So let's look at this example and then I'll talk a little bit about some other patterns that you might see here. So we sent the contract by express mail. We sent the contract by express mail. So in this situation, we're expressing a kind of communication, or in this case, transfer of information. We sent the contract by express mail. So express mail means physical mail, right? Express means fast, right? So we sent the contract by express mail. You might see this used to talk about the type of mail that was used to send something. So maybe in your country or in your region, there's like a basic kind of mail, express mail, maybe there's a special kind of super express mail, whatever. If it's important to express that kind of thing, like the level of mail, you can use by to do that. By is the most natural way to do that. However, in recent years, we use things like Skype or other online meeting things like Zoom, for example, but we don't really use by to express that. For example, if you want to talk about a meeting that you have on Skype or on Zoom, we generally don't use by to talk about that. We generally don't say, we're going to have the meeting by Zoom, or we're going to have the meeting by Skype. We don't use by in these online situations. Instead, we typically use on. We're going to have the meeting on Skype, or we're going to have the meeting on Zoom. So please keep this one in mind. So this by tends to be used to talk about mail, physical mail. You might also see it used to talk about fax, like he sent it by fax. You may also see the word via, V-I-A, used in these cases. So as you can see, there are a few different ways that we can express communication, but I just want to point out that sometimes we do use by in these cases to talk about payments and to talk about communication. But generally, if you want to express the method of doing something, this is a really easy one to remember. By plus an ing verb. Okay, that was a lot of information. Let's go along to the next one then. The next one, number 4, is by used to express a deadline. So a deadline, that means the finish point for something. So let's look at our examples. Submit your application by Friday. Submit your application by Friday. This means Friday is the deadline, so you have until Friday to do this action, okay? The next example, call me by 3 p.m. Call me by 3 p.m. So by is before the deadline for something. So 1 p.m. is okay, 2 p.m. is okay, 3 p.m. is the last chance that you have. So by comes before our deadline, our stop point for the action. Last one, finish the proposal by next month. Finish the proposal by next month. So all of these sentences mean that it's okay to do that action before the deadline. This by just marks the last possible point for something. A lot of learners ask about the difference between by and until, and I'm not going to talk about it in this lesson because there are a lot of differences, but I have a video about this, so definitely check out the by versus until video that I've made, and I hope that that will help answer your questions about those differences. Okay, let's move on to number 5. Number 5, we can use by when we want to express that we are doing something alone or that someone else is doing something alone. There's a very specific grammar point we need to keep in mind here. So let's look at these examples. First, she likes to go to the movies by herself. She likes to go to the movies by herself. So this by herself means alone, just one person. In this case, she. So she likes to go to the movies by herself. We use by before this word, herself, herself, okay? This is an example of what's called a reflexive pronoun. We're going to see this kind of pronoun in all of these example sentences, so you'll notice a pattern here. Let's look at the next one first though. I ate lunch by myself today. I ate lunch by myself today. So I ate lunch by, again, myself. So we have this reflexive pronoun here after by. This sentence expresses I ate lunch alone today. It's just a different way to express that idea. One more example. My son got dressed by himself this morning. My son got dressed by himself this morning. So this is probably a sentence about a very, very young boy. So my son got dressed by himself. Again, reflexive pronoun. So when you want to use this by plus himself, herself, myself pattern, It always is used to express that something is happening alone. Someone is doing something alone. We will always use these reflexive pronouns to do that. So if you want to know more about reflexive pronouns, I also have a video about this topic that you can check out as well for more information. So in this example, I used herself, I've used myself and himself. We also have ourselves or themselves and so on to talk about more than one person, but in those cases, we're talking about doing something with just two people in these cases. So I hope that you check out that other video about reflexive pronouns if you want to know more about this, but this is how we use it together with by. Okay, on to the next one, number 6. Number 6 is a very simple use of by. We use by to talk about the author or the creator of something. So the creator of your favorite book, your favorite song, your favorite movie, your favorite piece of art, and so on. When you want to talk about the person who made it, you can use by to do that. For example, my favorite book was written by George Orwell. My favorite book was written by George Orwell. So by comes before the name of the person who created that thing, in this case a book. Second example, this film was directed by Christopher Nolan. This film was directed by Christopher Nolan. So we have by before the director's name, the movie director's name in this case, Christopher Nolan. So again, this is talking about the creator of a work or the director of a work. Okay, one more. Her favorite piece of music is by Beethoven. Her favorite piece of music is by Beethoven. In this case, we have just one name, Beethoven. So some artists, some creators are known by just one name, or maybe they have a performance name or something like that. If it's a very famous artist like Beethoven, for example, most people just know it by one name, and that's okay. So we use by before the creator's name to talk about the person who made something. Okay, let's move along to number 7 then. Number 7 is to pass a location or to stop somewhere for a short time. We can use by to do both of these things. And you might think, well, how do I know which is which? How do I know if it means pass or stop somewhere? Generally, we can understand from the situation, from the context. So let's take a look at these examples. First, I drove by your house today. I drove by your house today. So here I have drove, past tense of drive a car, by your house today. In this case, it means I passed by your house today. So how do we know that it means passed and it doesn't mean stop? Well, probably if I'm telling the other person, hey, I drove by your house today, I probably didn't talk to that person, right? I'm letting them know, oh, I was in your neighborhood, I was in the area. So if I stopped at the house, I would have talked to the other person, right? They probably would already know. In this case, it means pass. I passed by your house today is another way to understand that. Okay, next one. Can you please stop by the supermarket? Can you please stop by the supermarket? So here we have by before the location. Can you please stop by the supermarket? So how do we know? Does this mean pass or does this mean stop somewhere? Well, our big hints are here. Stop. Can you please stop by, which means go very quickly to the supermarket. It would be very strange to say, can you please pass the supermarket, right? This sounds like a request. We probably would start a request for something with this expression, right? So this one means, can you please stop at the supermarket very quickly for something? Okay, last one. We walked by the library yesterday. We walked by the library yesterday. Here we have walked, again, past tense, by our location, by the library. We walked by the library yesterday. This sounds like it's probably passing. We walked past the library yesterday is how we understand this. So generally, based on the situation, we can understand if it means pass or if it means stop somewhere for a short period. Okay, we're almost done. Let's continue on to number 8 now. Number 8 is using by to talk about changes or differences with numbers. Let's take a look at these examples. First one, sales increased by 15% this year. Sales increased by 15% this year. This means that the total number of sales increased, so it went up. This by shows us how much of a change, okay? So one big question that people have is, is it to or is it by? What should I use here? Sales increased to 15% means that from some, like for example, 13% or 10% or something like that, the point that the sales reached was 15%. However, sales increased by 15% means the total change was 15%. So, by and to communicate very different things. By is telling us the difference in change. To is talking about the point that was reached. So they are very different. Keep this one in mind. We tend to use this a lot with the verbs increase and decrease. Also just go up and go down. So we'll see that again in another example. So sales increased by 15% this year. That's the total change. Okay, next example. The temperature went down by 5 degrees. The temperature went down by 5 degrees. So that means the temperature decreased by 5 degrees. This means the total change was 5 degrees. For example, from 30 to 25, that's a 5-degree change, right? Again, if we say the temperature went down to 5 degrees, that means the end temperature was 5 degrees. So again, we cannot use to and by in the same way. By tells us the change or the amount of difference. Okay, last one. We missed our bus by 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, we missed our bus by 2 minutes. So this sentence is a little bit different here. So in this case, we're talking about like a change or a difference in schedule. For example, if the bus leaves at 12 o'clock, we arrive to catch the bus at 12:02, we can say we missed our bus by 2 minutes. So we can express this difference in time with by. So when you miss something or you're late for something, you can use by to do this. Like, oh my gosh, I was late for my plane by an hour. So we're expressing that difference in time with by. Okay, let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is using by for units of measurement. This one is a very straightforward and easy to remember one. So we use by to talk about the dimensions of an object. So dimensions mean the height and the length and the depth of something. So let's look at our examples. This room is 5 meters by 10 meters. This room is 5 meters by 10 meters. So we use by to talk about kind of the total area of a space. So when we're talking about the length and the width, we connect them with by. We can do this with 3 units of measurement too. So I mentioned earlier length and width and height or depth depending on the object. We can do that with something like this. Her bag is 30 centimeters by 60 centimeters by 28 centimeters. So this gives us 3 units of measurement. 30 centimeters by 60 centimeters by 28 centimeters. So we connect all of those different measurements with the word by. Okay, one more example. Our living room is about 13 feet by 18 feet. So in this case, I'm using feet as the measurement. This is a common unit of measurement in the USA. Our living room is about 13 feet by 18 feet. So typically we express 2 dimensions, 2 units of measurement at the same time in this manner. As an example sentence 1 and example sentence number 2 when we talk about a room or maybe a house or something like that. If it's an object, we might use 3 different dimensions to talk about those, but we connect all of those with by. Okay, let's move on to our last one for this lesson. The last use of by I want to talk about is with passive. So we use passive sentence structures sometimes to hide information, or if we don't know who did an action, or if we just want to focus on the effects of the action. But sometimes we want to indicate or we want to share at the end of the sentence who did the action. We can do that with by. Let's take a look. The file was sent by my coworker. The file was sent by my coworker. So a basic passive sentence is just the file was sent. The file was sent. This sentence is 100% correct. But sometimes maybe it's important to share a little bit about who did the action. In this case, we have my coworker. So who did the action? My coworker. Okay, next example. Her bag was stolen by a man on the subway. Her bag was stolen by a man on the subway. So this is answering who stole it? A man on the subway. So we connect the 2 with by here. So again, her bag was stolen is perfectly fine. If you don't know who stole the bag, that's okay. You can just use that sentence. But if you want to include some extra information about who did that action, you can do it with by. Okay, last one. Our reservation was changed by the staff at the hotel. Our reservation was changed by the staff at the hotel. So who changed our reservation? The staff at the hotel. We add this information with by to the end of the basic passive sentence. So you can do this if you want to give that information and you want to use a passive sentence structure for some reason. So it's up to you if you want to use an active or a passive sentence here. That's your choice, but here is how you can share about who did that action. Just use by to do that. Okay, great. So those are 10 uses of the preposition by. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, of course, there are many other ways to use by. For example, we use it in phrasal verbs, we use the word by in idioms, and there are other expressions that we see by used from time to time. Of course, I cannot cover all uses of by in one video because there are too many, but I hope that these 10 uses will help you a lot and help you to understand the different ways that you can use this preposition in your communication. So I hope that this lesson was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some example sentences with this word, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye!
Want to boost your vocabulary so you can speak more of the language? If you're a beginner, the best way is to focus only on a special set of words, the core words, and you'll see why in just a bit. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. What are core words? So imagine this. You're a beginner. You download a vocabulary app and it starts teaching you words like economics, xylophone, and zebra. If you're a beginner, these are not exactly useful words, right? Well, that's the exact opposite of what core words are. And that's just an example of how to learn vocab the wrong way. So if you see an app teaching you that, run far, far away. Core words are a special set of words all beginners should start with. They're words we use most in daily life. Words like I, you, yes, no, this and that. And this is where you should start learning vocab as a beginner. The top 100 core words make up about 50% of everyday conversations. The top 200 core words cover 60 to 70%. If you go to 300, that's 80% of everyday conversations. So if you start with the core words first, instead of learning random words, you'll start understanding everyday conversations sooner than later. Even if you don't understand everything and you can only pick out a few words, you're on the right track. So how do you get started learning the core words? How to get the core 100 words. This part is for people that are using our learning system. With our system, you get the core 100 words for free. Just head to the vocabulary menu on our site and click on 100 most common words. And the way it works is you get all the words up front. Each word comes with a picture, the translation, audio pronunciation, and sample sentences so you can get a feel for it. And this is where you start. All the words are here. So if you're not a member, just sign up for a free lifetime account to get access. Now, how do you actually learn the words? You don't have to memorize them. There are easier ways. The easiest way to learn the core 100 words. The easiest way is with our audio slideshow tool, and it's also free for everyone. You'll find this tool right there with the core 100 words. Just click on View Slideshow, and the audio slideshow will play the words on loop for as long as you want it to, until the words are stuck in your brain. You can switch the translation audio on or off and play it in the background while you're doing something else. If there are certain words you want to focus on later, you can send them to your word bank to review later. You can also pop them into our spaced repetition flashcards to really master them. Just select all words, hit Add All Words, then choose your flashcard deck. But the audio slideshow is the easiest way because you can play the words on loop in the background until you know them in and out. And you can easily start understanding everyday conversations just by starting with the first 100 core words. So if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Now that you're finished with this lesson, don't forget, as a free bonus, you get over 30 conversation cheat sheets, but only if you sign up via the link in the description. You'll learn how to have flowing conversations and how to answer the most common questions. You can also print out these colorful cheat sheets to keep as physical study material. So don't miss out on this free gift. Click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get your PDF cheat sheets.